My first visit to the park was in 1933. We just moved into this house. I was 5 years old, and my father said on the Sunday morning, he said, come on, I had a brother a year older and an older brother 7 years old, and he took us down then to South Park itself.
In collaboration with Eastside Community Heritage, the South Park Users Group applied for funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund to develop a project documenting and sharing the history of South Park. The oral history titled A Walk in the Park was the outcome. South Park is one of the largest open spaces located in the London Borough of Redbridge and has been open to the public since May 1902. The South Park Users Group works with Redbridge Council to help sustain the park by volunteering on a regular basis in the maintenance of the environment for the benefit of everyone. Within the project, Eastside Community Heritage has devised and delivered guided history walks, which took the public to places in the park which still reveal its social history. Later, QR-coded points for recorded audio history will be installed, together with a pictorial display board placed where the historic clock tower once stood. The project also includes an exhibition of historic postcards and artefacts to be displayed in both the Redbridge Museum and South Park itself. The central part of the oral history is the reminiscences of local people who remember the park with affection, especially from their childhood.
We just had great fun. I mean, it seemed a huge park when you were little. I mean, it's still quite a big park, but it seemed massive being small.
I thought it was a lovely park. It was very green, and there seemed to be lots and lots of trees and things around, and plants.
It's to be referred to as a pretty little park. Yeah. But then now the better benefit is people can use it. It's not a showpiece. Children can play, and they're not stopped from going. Except now you can't go fishing.
Through both World Wars, residents continued using South Park, taking time out from the stresses and strains of war. They were able to do this knowing if the siren sounded, they could run to their nearest shelter in the park. Although Elizabeth Freeman said that was sometimes easier said than done.
I remember one time when I was about 3 coming home across the park with my mum, when the warning sounded, my mum told me to run on and go into the shelter. She followed close behind. I recall running down the slope into the underground room where there were long tables and chairs. It was only occupied by our police neighbour, Mr. Juniper, and one other person, who I believe was Shelter Marshal Moore, who was also a neighbour. They were playing cards for money, and when they saw me, Mr. Juniper said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "My mum had said come down." He said, "You've got to go home." He said, "You live near enough to go to your own shelter." My mother wasn't at all happy about that, and she felt cross about that for a long while.
The look of South Park changed a lot during the war years. Most of the land was given over to cultivation by park keepers, volunteers and residents, and used as allotments to provide fresh vegetables for their families while rationing was in force. Metal, such as the structure of the bandstand and the park railings, was removed for use in making munitions. Although the railings were not replaced until about the 1950s, not all residents seemed to mind.
During the war, and up to about 1950, I should imagine, you could go in there all times of the night if you wanted to. There was nothing to stop you. Nothing at all. Which seems good fun. the V2s only came over in 1944, and they were pilotless bombs. And the story, as I understand it, was you didn't hear them until the last minute. In fact, my dad used to say if you did hear it, you were safe because you knew it was going to land 100 yards away or so. But they killed hundreds of people in Ilford. It dismantled the clock tower, blew it to pieces, and it also blew up the original Parkkeeper's Lodge, or Head Gardener's Lodge, which was there, which was a brick-built building right next to it, or where the toilet block is now. Sadly, it also destroyed 4 or 5 houses completely in South Park Road, and a number of people were killed.
In true Blitz spirit style, children in particular made the best of a bad situation.
And I suppose I might have been 5 or 6 then, or 4 or 5, and then there used to be tennis courts where, on the left, 2 tennis courts, and that's where the bomb fell. And I can remember running up and down that crater. That was great fun. It's a shame the tennis court had gone, but it was terrific running up and down this big hole.
No matter what time of year, in and around the lake, it's possible to see a good variety of wildlife. Not only the more common species, but sometimes some unusual visitors, as Senior Ranger Francis Castro explains.
It's funny enough, a couple of weeks ago we had a volunteer day here, and while we were sitting for lunch we were looking out over the lake, and we saw a pair of kingfishers flitting between the 2 islands just in front of the centre, looking for basically a nest. So I mean that's a really good sign. I mean, kingfishers tend to only be in areas where there's semi-decent water quality, as well as there's fish right for them to live on. So that's a positive, that's a positive sign.
Today, South Park is a popular open space for families, joggers, dog walkers, and anyone wishing to enjoy the outdoor recreational facilities and pleasant surroundings. South Park has green flag status for 2015-2016. This is an initiative from Keep Britain Tidy, and the award means that certain criteria have been met, such as being clean and tidy, involving the community, and it is healthy, safe and secure.
So did you find out about this?